You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get into Kyle McCord before we talk about Fran Brown, the first-year head coach. Kyle McCord had a great first game. 350 yards, 4 touchdowns against Ohio. It was a good start. Obviously, no complaints really from Kyle McCord. But how was he going to do against tougher competition? Power 4, ACC, 23rd ranked team in the country. I'm not going to break out, though. Let you in on a little secret again. But I will tell you this. He was pretty good. Oh, he wasn't just pretty good, actually. I'm underselling it. He was sensational. That might have been the best game that Kyle McCord ever played, topping the one that he played last week. He was phenomenal. The 2 biggest plays on offense for Syracuse in this game were Kyle McCord to Oronde Gadsden. Let's get into it. It's the 4th quarter. Syracuse is up 24-14. They just got a huge stop on defense on a 4th and 1 play. We're going to get into that soon in this podcast. But for now, Syracuse takes over at the Georgia Tech 35-yard line. There's about 10 minutes left in the game. What are they going to do? Well, here are the stakes. At this point, if Syracuse scores a touchdown, at least in my head, and before Syracuse really tried to blow the game, I thought if they score a touchdown here, this game is essentially over. That's what I thought. And, well, they drive. They get it to within the 10-yard line. But Georgia Tech stiffens a little. And all of a sudden, it's 2nd and goal from the 17-yard line. At this point, I'm thinking, well, you got to get 9 yards and then try to get 8 yards, or 8 yards and then 9 yards. You run a play to set yourself up for 3rd and goal. That's not what Kyle McCord and Oronde Gadsden had in mind, because Oronde Gadsden runs a perfect post route. He gets open. There's a tight window, though, and Kyle McCord makes a sensational throw to Oronde Gadsden, once again in tight coverage, to put Syracuse up 31-14. And ultimately, it was the nail in the coffin for Georgia Tech, because they nearly came back, but that touchdown was so critical because it made it a 3-possession game. If they had settled for a field goal, it's only a 2-possession game. Syracuse would have been up 27-14 instead of 31-14. And now for really the biggest play on offense, because like I said, Georgia Tech nearly came back. They recovered an onside kick. We'll get into the special teams later on in the podcast. They scored a couple touchdowns. It's 31-28. We're at the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 10. Wasn't the most spectacular throw. It wasn't sensational, but Kyle McCord found an open Oronde Gadsden for a first down on a 3rd and 10 when they absolutely had to have it, because Georgia Tech had all their timeouts remaining. They could have easily called a timeout right there. And next thing you know, the Yellow Jackets get the ball and they have a chance to tie or win the game. But nope, Kyle McCord on a 3rd and 10 finds Oronde Gadsden for the first down. LaQuint Allen then takes care of the rest by running the clock out. There were so many throws in this game that I thought were special from Kyle McCord, including that post route to Oronde Gadsden that made it 31-14. I highlighted a few of them. 2nd quarter, Kyle McCord to Trebor Pena on a 3rd and 15. He finds him for 32 yards over the middle, once again in tight space. First down. Syracuse then caps off that drive by scoring a touchdown. The Orange go up 14-7 in the 2nd quarter. And then later in the frame, McCord finds Umari Hatcher on a 1st and 20 from his own 15-yard line for a gain of over 30 yards over the middle. It was one of those throws where if he underthrows it, it's picked off. And if he overthrows it, it's picked off. But Kyle McCord put it in the exact right spot where only Umari Hatcher can catch the ball, and that's exactly what Hatcher did this afternoon. And then in the 3rd quarter, Kyle McCord was mostly protected in this game, but on the off chance that there was pressure, like on this play, it was a 3rd and 3 in his own territory. Kyle McCord stands in the pocket, rolls a little, shifts his feet with a man in his face. He's probably over 300 pounds, bearing down on him, and he finds an open Jackson Meeks on a crossing route for a first down. And later on in the drive, Syracuse went on to kick a field goal to go up 24-14. And I actually mentioned that drive because it's the only time that Kyle McCord actually missed a pass. The only drive, because on that third down, he had LaQuinn Allen open for a first down on a check down play, and he missed him. He overshot him. That was like the only missed throw that Kyle McCord had. He was phenomenal. And if you're an Ohio State fan, you're probably seething right now. Or maybe you feel good that Kyle McCord is playing, but maybe Ryan Day isn't such a happy camper over at Ohio State, okay? Because this man, dare I say that he's in the Heisman conversation? I don't know. Maybe it's a little early. I digress. Just keep that in mind, though, because he's got nearly 800 yards through 2 games. What does he have? 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, completing darn near 70% of his passes. He's been fantastic. I talked about simplicity last week against Ohio. This game required more big-time throws, and Kyle McCord seemed to make all the big-time throws in this one. Fantastic. He gets an A+. He gets an A+. It was a perfect performance from Kyle McCord in this one. Now let's shift our gears to Fran Brown. Fran Brown had an opportunity in week 2 of his first season ever to get a signature win. That's exactly what he did. He gets himself a signature win. If you recall his predecessor, Dino Babers, his first season in 2016, he also beat a ranked team at home that year. And no, it's not Clemson. That came in 2017. Dino Babers beat the number 17 ranked team in the country, Virginia Tech, in the Dome. But Syracuse that year wasn't very good. They were 4-8. And I believe that game was in the midway point of the season. So Fran Brown makes an early statement as a head coach and gets a ranked win in just his second career game. Unreal. He is right now pacing to be the best first-year head coach in Syracuse history since 1991. That's how ridiculous this is right now. He has been great. They're 2-0. I can't really fault anything that he has really done. Yeah, play calls here or there, but that's just nitpicky. I can't complain about Fran Brown, the only first-year head coach for Syracuse since 2005 that has had a winning season in their first year is Scott Schaefer in 2013. Fran Brown's going to pass that. They're going to pass that because Scott Schaefer that year went 7-6, I want to say, in 2013. Syracuse is going to be better than 7-6. Okay, they're winning 8 regular season games at minimum. So he's essentially on track to be the best first-year head coach for Syracuse since 1991. It's incredible. Kyle McCord and Fran Brown seem to be a match made in heaven.